I'm a loner tonight because my boy dumped me.
I know, right?
I'm a lone producer.
What's the point in training them if they're just going to bail out at the first video game tournament that comes along?
I was going to say, apparently the video game tournament is more important than Sting hockey. Can you believe that?
I don't believe it at all.
All right. Well, hello everybody. We're gonna see now. I gotta. Okay, I think I got it. All right.
Produce and talk
at the same time. Hello everybody. Welcome. Here we are. I'm David Burrows. My friend Jay Peckham. Progressive Auto Sales Arena. As the Soo Greyhounds are here in the house tonight.
They made it across the bridge. That's no big wind.
They got here safe and sound. Yeah, well, that's right. You're talking about, of course, the first game that the Sting were to play was to be against the Soo. Maybe that was a hidden...
I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know what? I was checking it out. The Soo have played 3 games. They're 2-1 right now. We're 2-0. You know, all things could be a good matchup tonight. I'm hoping to see us continue our winning ways from last night. So.
Well, you know, last night was an interesting game because we talked, of course, about how Flint was kind of a thorn. Well, not kind of. They were a thorn in the Sting's derriere, so to speak, last year.
Keister, as
and
it were,
looked a little bit like that maybe in the first period last night, but then they turned it around.
Yeah, you know, and I think, again, you know, we talked about it a bit last night. You know, we're still really early in the season. I think, you know, right now it's going to be a matter of trying to figure out, as much as we're trying to figure out our own team right now and seeing how everybody works together and stuff, you know, we're also going to have to try and figure out the other teams because it's not the same team that we played last year. You know, they got new guys, we got new guys. It's a whole, you know, it's like that bits and bytes, man. It's a whole new hockey game, right?
Well, and it's starting off tonight, one of the fellas on the starting line, Jacob Burrows, who is somebody, you know, new to the team and has really already kind of made a mark.
Yeah, for sure. He was our first-round draft pick this year, and, you know, I'm still quite impressed at how he's playing, and last night he certainly, you know, was in a lot of good plays, which was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, he was a force on the rink, and I think you know, there's still there's a couple of key things I'd like to see happen. I mean, there was a couple of rookie kind of moves, but you know what? I mean, again, it's early in the season, right?
That's
we'll
right.
see all those.
Well, and everybody here, and you know, if you walk around, and I'm sure you in your section over there's a lot of conversations of predicting of what. Things might happen. You know, another somebody new, Calvin Martin, who also made a goal last night to get things rolling. We talked to him post game, and he's feeling pretty good about things. He's got some friends still on the Soo team that are there tonight. So,
and that's always interesting. You know, when you're playing in the O, I mean, it really is a tight knit group. You know, because these guys do come from all over the place. You know, it's not just a local group of Sarnia guys.
Oh, that's right.
You know, they come from all over the
It's
place.
an OHL family.
And exactly. And, you know, they come here and they play, but they've got friends all over the place on other teams and other divisions and stuff. So it's always interesting when they play together. But you know what? I know they're serious about hockey, so we're going to see some good hockey.
Maybe
either way, right?
Trash talking? Nah.
Oh, sure there would be.
That would never happen, eh?
What late teenage boys trash talking? No, that never happens.
Yeah. They say no, but we're not always down there to eavesdrop.
No, I have friends who are billet parents, and I can say conclusively there is smack talk going on.
Let's talk about the billet parents. Now that you bring that up, you know they're often a hidden hero, if you will, in all of this
100%.
OHL that happens. And we've talked many a time about how these players are often away from their families.
Yep.
A lot of traveling going on, and school, and oh, by the way, I want to be a teenager too. The billet families
100%.
Really have a large influence on the players.
Yeah, they sure do, you know, and I know that the families that that are friends of mine that have billeted before, you know, they really got a lot out of the experience as well. You know, because some of these are great kids, a lot of them, and they come here and they're missing their families, and you know, the billet families, they pick right up. They do everything they can to make sure that these guys have the best and see the best and have the best experience in Sarnia as possible. And, you know, so my hat's off to them, every single one of them.
Can you imagine before technology, I mean, at least now there's that FaceTime and whatnot that you can see and talk to the family when you're home away from home kind of thing. It would certainly be a lot different back then. Let's move on a little bit. The lights are coming down. That means we still got about 10 minutes away from the puck drop here tonight. It's really filling up in here. Well, you can see the anticipation, like the Soo Greyhounds, and there's that rivalry thing going on there.
It is. I mean, they're a divisional rival, and I don't imagine we have a whole lot of Soo people coming here, not like on London Knights games.
Right.
The Soo is a good rivalry. We play them 4 times at home and 4 times away.
Yeah,
so
that's a lot.
we play them a lot during the season because they're in our division. So, and because of that rivalry, I think there's probably a few extra people that come out. Plus, it's funny enough, I know a bunch of Sarnians that are actually from the Soo.
Ah, okay.
So
there might be mixed blood.
I think there's probably a few Sarnia jerseys out there that are secretly rooting for. For
They're not sitting near Jay Peckham.
They put up with me a little bit. I guess it's good though.
Speaking of which, of people from Sarnia, you had some sort of family playing last night on the Flint team.
We did actually. So the roundabout kind of way is my wife's grandfather's brother's grandson.
My best friend's
so I think I want to say second cousin, maybe something like that. But Jacob Winterton, and he plays for Flint. This is his freshman year with the Greyhounds, and he played a fairly good game. Didn't get a huge amount of ice time, but I think he played a decent game last night. So we're looking. We had a little bit of mixed emotions.
Speaking of more ice time, let's jump back to the Sarnia Sting now. Kelton Hatcher's also starting off tonight.
Yep.
And we're seeing a little bit more of him in the beginning of things as maybe compared to last year.
Well, I think we've when we started watching preseason stuff and training camp and things like that. I mean, we've noticed that some of these guys have come back this year and they're a little bit bigger. Hugo Lavinius has put on some size, which is he's certainly started growing up.
Already existed.
I mean, Kelton Hatcher was already a big boy, but it's nice to see him playing with just that little bit more maturity. I think this round. I think it's. I was a coach once for my daughter when she was playing basketball, and being the coach's kid is not an easy job. You got something to prove each and every time you're out there. And I think, it's a tough spot to be in because quite often, Dad, the coach, is going to be a little bit harder on you than they would be on anybody else, not playing favorites. But, it's nice to see that he's still a good, consistent player at this point. He's showing already a little more maturity in the first couple of games this season. I'm happy to see that, and he's actually throwing the body around a little bit more. So, he's making some good defensive moves in terms of, ramping up a little bit of aggression, which Sarnia has maybe lacked a little bit in the back.
We could talk about moving the body around a little bit more. Let's talk about Aiden Hughes. It's easy. I talked to some of the young Sting kids yesterday. They're still talking about Justin Fazio. Sting fans tend to compare to what's not there.
For sure.
But Aiden Hughes last night really showed he was moving around there, and he was staying on top of the ball, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it was a good game for him last night. I don't know that it was necessarily a great game. The one and only goal that he let in, I thought, it was a bit weak. And I think, for me, I think the thing that Aiden Hughes should be looking at, as from the fan perspective, because, frankly,
he has
it's
the right.
not like I'm out there.
Yeah.
But you know what? From a fan perspective, I think, he just has to be in that ready stance. He plays in between plays. He's a little bit casual. And he takes some chances, and when a lot of these plays come so fast, if you are not ready every time the puck is in your end or in the blue, beyond that blue line, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. And I think that was one of the things we saw that happen with the first goal. It was the first shot he managed to deflect aside. And then it was almost like he went back to more of a casual stance.
Right, and then, there's the
puck
puck
again. We hadn't cleared the zone, and then all of a sudden the puck was there.
Yeah.
And just that split second of not being ready to getting ready for it was all it took to put that puck in the net. And I think that's the thing I want to see from Maiden Hughes. I really think, I mean, I like the guy. He's, he's a super kid off the ice. I've talked to him a couple of times. And, and he's a big boy. He covers a lot of space.
Certainly.
And I think, there is certainly some potential there, but he's going to have to find a way to step into that.
Well, we see sometimes, see goalies come out sometimes, and sometimes I think, just stay there. Like when you're coming out, we did see him come quite far out one way. One point he went way out, actually dropped his stick, and that was kind of like because he weren't completely clear of the zone at that point.
And absolutely some risky moves, and you know what? Sometimes those are going to pay off, and other times maybe not so much. So we're going to have to be careful because it is risky, and in a tight game, those are maybe not risks you want to take.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, well there you go. Fan perspective, getting ready as the Sarnia Sting to take on the Soo Greyhounds here tonight, after a win last night of 4-1 against Flint. Let's see if they can hold on. I think they're going to have to be a little tougher tonight than they did last night for sure. So, is that aggression? And you'll know when Jay Peckham comes back in second period, whether if I have the cry towel here or if he's smiling like that, then you'll pretty well have an idea where we're going to go with that. All right. I know you got to do some things before the game will start.
Yes, I do.
So we're going to do that. I'm going to try to do this. I won't be doing this as good as the boy does.
Okay,
Thanks, Jason, for dumping me.
Thanks, Jason, for picking video games.
All right, I'm David Burrows for the show, live on location in the Video Show Network. My friend Jay Peckham.
Go Sting, go!
Talk to you soon.